Something I have not relatively seen too much on the YouTubes is the endurance simulation class racing series on Forza Motorsport 7. Personally, this is my favorite series of racing. Simulation damage is on, they're longer races, you can see it's 19 laps with a pit stop. Typically, it makes out for some a lot better racing. Today we are at Coda at night, Circuit of the Americas. I'm in the Porsche, and right away I am taking some damage to the front left. We lose our suspension, we lose some braking, still maintain the lead. It's just absolute chaos behind us. We look behind a couple times just to see them 2, even 3, sometimes 4 wide through there. So I'm just going to do my best to get through these S's, not cut the corners. Already have somebody on my tail. That's understandable. I don't even have a front end, so I can't turn, I can't brake. I'm just going to do my best to maintain that lead, slow down the rest of the pack so that I can stay competitive. Sadly, I don't really know what we're going to be able to do with this. We do have that required pit stop, so maybe we'll have to pit early. Not sure. Tire degradation is turned on in the simulation racing. So maybe if we maintain this lead enough by the end of this lap, we'll just stay out and, make it our race until we need to pit. Typically, people like to pit about halfway through the race, around laps 5, 6, or 7, if I did my math right. It does create for a tiny bit of strategy when it comes to doing the over-under pit stop strategy, where if you're in second, you'll pit and then go faster than the leader and then come out of the pits ahead of them. We can see second place, Reckless Sage is popping up on me. I'm exceeding track limits there, trying to give him a respectful amount of space. Just going to go in the pits. If I'm already in second, I'm not going to be able to keep up with him. I'm not going to be able to pass him. So I'm just going to throw it straight in the pits there. He is in an Aston Martin DBR9, one of my favorite cars, but today we are in that Porsche RSR, the mid-engine, beautiful exhaust note Porsche. All right, we can see we're dropping down the order pretty far. 16th place, maybe it is, has pitted as well. We're not going to be seeing him for the rest of the race, obviously. So, exiting the pits, we can see from the leader as we exit how long this pit time is. It's also actually on the screen. I've never noticed that before. 35 seconds so far. We're gonna have to do our best throughout this entire race to maintain our tires. This car eats those front tires like crazy, and then we're just gonna have to do our best to keep up. At the end of the race, we probably won't have much tire life left, and the others will be on fresher rubber, so we'll have to do our best there. Let's go around Phil Hill here and just try to take it easy through this. First clean lap on our own. One of the benefits of pitting so early is that we do get to, race for a while on our own. We don't have any lap traffic in front of us. We don't have any of the leaders battling with us. We could just run fast, clean laps, hitting all those apexes, running on the curbs. Hopefully we're running faster than the leaders. I'm not entirely certain. We can see on the screen there we're about 38 seconds behind the leader. I think the pit time was about 45 seconds, so that already seems pretty positive, but we'll have to see how that improves. Completely missed this corner here. We'll try to keep it tidy, try to get it back, and round out these double apex, triple apex corners of Circuit of the Americas. I know it's kind of controversial how popular this track is. A lot of people hate it, but I feel it fits these GT3 cars extremely well. There's just enough downforce to make the corner like this exciting enough, and that S's section is it's a lot of fun getting on those curbs and hitting those apexes. So that's going to finish out our second lap, our first clean lap, and on that I am just going to enable this light speed mode all the way up until Phil Hill. This will help us catch the leaders. Obviously, I'm kidding. We're just going to go fast forward for a moment, get around Phil Hill, and we are seeing some lap traffic. Not necessarily lap traffic since we are in 15th place, but since we already did the pit stop, I can consider myself closer to the leaders, and we have this BMW to get around. I'll just kind of take that inside line that he left open. He's just going to not let me in. He's going to just keep plowing me through. Just going to try to avoid any damage, and he's going to send it into the wall. No idea why he did that. Maybe it's to assert dominance of some sort. Maybe in the next race he'll just send it a little bit harder. I'm not entirely certain. Don't really understand the ideas or the mindsets of those people in Forza lap traffic. They're just running in their own worlds. No clue. Anyway, we have another one coming up. That way I'm not going to fast forward again. We're just going to try to catch up to this guy. I think he's in a Z4. Can't quite tell. Yeah, it looks like a Z4. Coming up to one of my favorite sections of Circuit of the Americas. He's running way wide. We're just going to keep it tight, keep it nice and clean and tidy, taking that tight exit as well, just so we can get on that wide open throttle. Coming around the second to last corner, and we catch right up to him. He has no idea what an exit is. Somehow pinches me out there. Maybe he's just trying to run to the curbs. Maybe he's just doing his best. Respect to him. I'm just going to go around. He can do his thing. 12th place right in front of us as well. We are up to 13th at this point. The one downside to, well, besides tire degradation, is the other downside to pitting so early is having to deal with just rammers and bad drivers, people that don't know what they're doing. They put these cars out that are just a little bit too fast for most people, I think, and I just scoot around that Audi at that point. Now let's warp ahead a little bit more. These laps are quite long, and these races are quite long. We are currently in lap 4. You know what? This might just take a while to get to anything interesting. We are going to skip over to lap 6. Check that out really quickly. Lap 6 now. We are catching up to that BMW again, that lap track. I just wanted to take a look at this real quick. He just sends it around that corner, loses his tail end, and sends it into a wall over there. I think that confirms it. He's learning how to drive. Wow. He tried to take me out again. He didn't know he was ghosted. So, of course, we are fast-forwarding it a little bit again. I am understanding why this racing doesn't show up too much. I'll maybe do some live streams of it, but this is one of the few joys of pitting on lap 1 is a lot of people are starting to pit at this point. We're only on we're on lap 6. And like I mentioned, a lot of people are in that pit lane. So hopefully a few more will do it on the next lap as well. We are already up to 6th place. I think that's pretty telling to our progress and our speed around this track. I don't believe the leader has pitted yet. We'll have to see how it's going. I exceed track limits there a little bit. I overcooked it on the braking, or overcooked it on the throttle. We're coming through the S's. Absolutely love the S's in this car. It plants so well. Just a little bit of braking before that right turn. Coming on through and catching up to 5th place quite rapidly, I would say. He's in a Lamborghini. Those things are some of the fastest in this class, actually. I don't believe enough people race in this class, but when they do, man, they are up for it against those Lamborghinis. I'm going to try to take a little bit of an over-under there, take that nice and cleanly. He overcooked his brakes. He might be overcooking his tires at this point. I am on technically fresher tires than he is, since I have one lap less of use out of my tires. Coming around this late apex, this decreasing radius corner, almost to the end of lap 7. I'm really curious to see if anybody is pitting at this point. You can see on the map that somebody's in there. Not quite sure how long it's going to take to catch up to them. Looks like they're not moving yet. Everything should be good. Let's come around that second to last corner, just nicking that apex, hugging that exit. Everybody, extends that exit quite a lot. I feel decent just getting all 4s off there. So we could see that person that came out of the pits is just absolutely gone. I have no idea if he was the leader or just in a really low position earlier. Not sure what we have to worry about, but we're currently in 5th place. We'll have to kind of see how the race goes. So I'm going to warp us up ahead a little bit. We're going to fast forward through lap 8, and I believe lap 9. We'll definitely be catching up around the pit lane because this is the action moment. We see a few more guys pitting there, listed on the left. Looks like first place is finally pitting. Almost there to the last couple of corners to hit that pit lane. So let's slow it back down right about here. And let's take a look at where we're going to end up. Man, this screen looks so slow after doing the speed through, but we are currently in 5th place. Through the pits, we are passing, I believe, who's in 4th. Then we are passing who's in 3rd. I was nailing down there to see if we're going to have a close exit. But man, we move up to 3rd, 2nd. Maybe the game was just lagging behind there or teasing me, but we are currently up to 2nd place on lap 9. I would be pretty confident everybody has pitted at this point. We catch up to some more lap traffic, that BMW definitely included. But anybody holding out till lap 9 or 10, maybe even 11 to pit, that doesn't seem advantageous. It seems a little bit more like a hindrance. But hey, maybe he was just grooving harder than the Bee Gees. We're almost there now, lap 10. I am hoping that we can get that lead position at this point, but we're not really certain. We're just going to keep fast forwarding there. Saw that Beamer just losing it again back there. It's always kind of funny to watch, let's be honest. But hey, at this point, we could see on the leaderboard that first place is in the pits. They're about 30 seconds ahead. It's not updating as we go, but we're going to slow it down coming through that last corner with just a couple of laps to go. See if we can pass him here. It looks like we're going to exit at a pretty similar rate, but we just nudge ahead. We take that lead position, and man, what a wild run at this point. We've been on dead tires for a lap or two now. Much worse than anybody else has had to deal with, except the first place, because he for some reason chose to. But we are taking that lead position. We weren't really cutting corners. We didn't really have any advantage. We've just been running solid this race. Again, I've been really falling in love with Coda lately. I know it's not really a crowd favorite, but it just flows nicely. It flows nicely when you have some aero. But oh god, looking behind, second place is right there. I'm on dead tires. Front and rear are just gone. You can see it in the little tachometer on the right that they're all yellow. Don't really have much of a shot. So let's stick with it for these last two laps, or last lap and a half. See if he catches up. He's only 1.6, 1.8 now, seconds behind. We'll try to keep him at bay. We'll just try to run smoothly and quickly. Hopefully we can do something about that. Yeah, we'll skip ahead to the last lap. We're already through the S's coming before that little straightaway, and you can see that little proximity sensor saying that he's nearby. Looking back, he's definitely nearby. He's caught up quite a bit. Our laps are getting slow. Hit that apex nicely, get on the exit, but man, he's keeping up. He has no issues, just taking us through. We're just going to do our best to defend, do our best to keep him at bay. We're running pretty well, I would say. And you can see he's trying to take a peek up the inside of this decreasing corner. I just try to get as good of a run out of that as I can, trying to stay strong. I'm going to try to keep it tidy through here. I'm not sure which way he's going to go, inside, outside. I'm just going to hold a line as solid as I can. Try to keep the car wide as I can. Going into the second to the last corner, he's doing that over-under, trying to maintain that inside into the final corner. Into the final corner, I make a late braking move. He just taps me right out in good old Forza fashion. That's really unfortunate. He's going to try to grab that win there. But something I do appreciate about the endurance racing is he's going to give me that win. He just knew that that was a not clean move, and we take that victory home. That was a rough race having to start in the pits. But also, interestingly enough, you could see he was about a half a second faster than me on his best lap, and it was a clean lap. So, man, he had the best. So for the next couple of races, I wanted to showcase what not to do. These two races they had silly accidents or silly things that happened, and immediately we just have to avoid that Jaguar who is away from controller. Virginia International Raceway in the rain have a couple of Vipers in front of us. Just want to try to hold that inside line. Instead of saying this is what we shouldn't do, this is exactly what you should do. Have a contactless little introduction to the race. Don't touch anybody, don't bug them, they won't bug you, and that'll all be nice and clean. But I'm going to fast forward a little bit through this whole race, mostly because not too much happens. I draft this Viper a little bit, but he'll end up getting away from me when I miss an apex right there. But I want to showcase a brilliant move I did out of the last corner on this racetrack right here in the rain. I just absolutely send it. Go four wheels off track, do a little drift. It didn't seem like much, but in all honesty, that did essentially lose me the race. So for the last race of the day, we will move on to Homestead Circuit. Honestly, I am pretty bad at this circuit, and it has a pretty atrocious accident towards the end. You guys got to stick around for that. It's kind of incredible. We're going to get a good start off of there. We're back in the RSR. I know in that second one we were in the GT3. That one's actually my favorite car back there, but we'll get a little bit of rear-ended through that, but we're good to go. It's essentially going to be me versus this other Porsche and this Mercedes behind me. And you can see that the other RSR is taking a commanding lead. So I'm just going to have to do my best to catch up to him. But man, I got to say, his livery, that throwback to the Le Mans car, it just looks amazing. Into an increasing radius corner after a hairpin. It's honestly advantageous to take a wider line through there, as I learned later on in this race. But that pink pig, he scoots it off a little bit. I'm going to take the lead. And we are going to go side by side into this little hairpin right here. I'm going to hold this inside line, braking as much as I can, getting a little bit of skid on the entry, but that is just fine. I take that commanding lead, and we are now on to that straightaway. I believe his RSR is a little bit faster than mine. Mine's not quite geared for everything here, but I'm going to hold this inside through here, and he just drives it off. Honestly, that's an incredibly difficult corner to hold the outside on. I just barely maintain. Thankfully, I was on the inside there. So yeah, that completes the first lap, and we're going to give it a good scoot forward to the end of lap 3, well, maybe about halfway through lap 3, where I get a little bit of tail happy action through that little corner back there, giving Not Lamb this the pink pig a little bit of an advantage onto that straightaway. He's going to just absolutely nail that apex. I think he maintained full throttle, maybe, if not almost. That Corvette is on my tail with a 15-lap race. It's not a race for the lead at this point. It's a race for respect, but I'm going to take that inside line because I simply had the run. Didn't want to get in the back of him. I'm going to tuck it up behind him because there's no advantage to doing a dive bomb right now. And into that second turn of lap 4, he overcooks it just slightly, giving me that position. Again, we're not really battling, just taking advantage of each other's small mistakes. And nothing really happens until we hit the pits on lap 7. Honestly, this is quite a mistake on my part. I'm leading even if I'm slower. It is an advantage to stay out and slow everybody else down. Me pitting right now gives the other two quite an opportunity to take quite a lead on me. If I'm slower than them, they'll just walk away. Though, my thinking is here that they both are battling for that lead position. I don't want to be a part of that. I want to run clean. I want to run on my own. And the rest of this race should make for some decent action. Let's exit out of these pits. It looks like it's about a 30-second pit stop, maybe 35. Coming down onto that straightaway. And then that second corner. No lap trap, well, no people behind coming up aggressively. We are still in 4th place. Still quite an advantage of a place to be in after a pit stop. Nailing that apex, hugging the curb nicely. Again, same thing through that second part of the chicane. Got that Corvette behind me. I believe he was in the lead earlier on in the race. If not, I think pitted early. He was a fast driver through this one, I remember. But anyway, we are moving through. As we skip forward to lap 9, where that Corvette finally overtakes us, he just has the motor on me and holds that inside line pretty well. I do my best to hold the outside, but again, that's a very difficult corner to hold the outside on. I barely touch the grass and graze it there. And the reason we skip forward here is because the leaders are in that pit lane. They're about to be on their way out. We'll have to see how we line up. That pink Porsche, the Porsche Pig, is going to maintain his battle spot with us. Coming around that really fast left-hander. There we are, almost side by side. I really try to make a lunge up the outside. Don't quite make it. So it's really him and me right now. I'm just going at it. I'm going to have to stay respectful. We have the whole 5 laps left. Not trying to win it all right now. So here we go onto the small straightaway before the right-hander. Just trying to maintain some speed with that Porsche. He does have fresh tires. That might be quite an advantage for him here. So we just got to maintain staying on the tail of this guy. And that Corvette takes it off track. He's going to lose quite a lot of speed going onto the straightaway. We're not sure where to go. 2 abreast, 3 abreast almost at one point. We're doing our best, and I just end up in the rear of that Porsche right there. Nowhere really to go. We go 3 wide into the hairpin. I really go for that inside, hug that curb perfectly, and maintain my position. A Ferrari trying to get involved. Still going to maintain working on that inside line, going into that super fast left-hander. We can see if the pink Porsche can hold it this time. And while he does, he's going to have to just hold back on us. He gets a little bit on the grass, but he doesn't really lose any time there. Here we are going on to that straightaway. Only a few laps left. It's starting to get kind of rowdy up here in the lead. Oh, looking back, that Corvette and Ferrari getting a tangle to take themselves out of the race for the lead. We're still in 2nd place. Hopefully that 1st place guy, the leader, still has yet to pit. We're doing pretty all right, I would say. That the Porsche, the pink pig, did fall back just enough to make this exciting for us. Maybe we do have a win in this race. We will have to see what that leader does. I believe he does have a pit stop left. Not entirely certain, though. Here we are on that little straightaway before the right-hander, just doing our best to maintain the lead. Doing some decent braking there, taking a slightly wider line through that right-hand corner and get a nice exit with some nice speed. Here we are running away from that pink pig. So let's fast forward yet again. We're only on lap 11, just a few left. Not too much action going on at the moment. Just trying to run the best lines that we can. Lap 12 coming in, the pink Porsche right behind us. Not too far. We can see that proximity arrow getting pretty close at moments. It's even going to get closer in just a second. So we're going to slow it on down here. Make that right-hander as well as we can. Seems like he's catching up. So we're going to do our best right here just to maintain some speed going into one of the final corners of the race. We're more than 3/4 of the way through. And the controller disconnects. That just, blows my mind right there. We were running so well. We had some decent lap time, some decent speed, and this Porsche is just wrecked. Still relatively runs, and we're still technically on the podium. But you know what, guys? At that point, I think I'm just going to call it. We're going to sit here and look at all the people passing by, and that's going to be it for this video. Make sure to check out the other ones, like and subscribe if you enjoyed it, comment for some feedback. I believe this series will be good for some live streams, since honestly we had to cut through quite a bit of this video, but I'd really appreciate some comments to understand how you guys feel about my videos and about my commentary. I'm really trying to improve and bring back the channel, so anything's really appreciated. Click up here for the last video. It's really enjoyable, the S-Class action, and also go check out my old films. We're going to try to bring back some cinematography on the page.